This man was calmly filming in a public-facing area when security and police stepped in, questioning where he could stand, what he could record, and whether a sidewalk was public or private, turning a simple First Amendment activity into a confusing standoff over rights, boundaries, and basic understanding of the law.
What are you doing?
So what's the word though? So what's the word?
I don't know. You're just acting weird and putting your phone in people's
Don't
faces.
matter. Don't matter. That doesn't matter.
This is private property, though.
How can it be private property?
It belongs to the mall.
Well,
they own
where's the sidewalk though?
No.
Should I walk? Should I walk in the middle of the street?
No, you
Should I walk in the middle of the street? Yo, right. So I need a sidewalk, right? And I can't be on the sidewalk, can I?
Yeah, but you can't.
There you have it. There you have it. That's it. That's the end of this conversation. That's the end. You guys can go back.
No, they manage this part of here.
Okay, but this is a public sidewalk. I keep saying the same thing.
So I know.
Time and again.
But why on earth would he be shoving your phone in people's faces? That's just weird.
I haven't done that, nor do I have any responsibility to tell you whatever I do.
I know, but that's extreme.
If I'm not breaking the law, if
You're
I'm
not.
not breaking the law,
I know,
if
you're
I'm
being a
if
jerk,
I'm not
dude.
Okay, you are a jerk.
No, I'm pretty sure
You're
you are.
soft in your heart, man.
No, I'm just
You're
reasonable.
calling me names.
Because you're
I
acting
thought
like a
you
jerk.
look tough, but you're not.
No,
you're
I'm
the
just
jerk.
being straight up with you.
I have not receiving insult from any of these officers by you, so you're the jerk.
I'm just calling it facts.
You're the jerk.
Okay.
You're the jerk. People can say whatever they want, but that doesn't mean it's true. Well, this guy's calling me names.
No,
You're
it's
the
a
jerk.
fact.
You're the jerk.
So the
Okay,
difference,
but
the difference is
you see the difference? The way you're telling me you're not calling me names and he's calling me jerk?
no, but the difference is
That's not professional.
That's your feeling. But
That's-
the fact
that's
is
not
the fact-
professional.
If you're upset about
That's not
that,
professional.
then stop acting like one. Stop acting like
You're
a
not
jerk.
gonna tell me what to do.
Okay.
Well,
In life, you're not
security
gonna
that's
tell me what
in charge of this property, the property that we're standing on right now,
Well-
they ask you to leave.
to do. This is.
Yes, this is their property. That's why they have the tables and everything there.
So
Because
you
they're
want
in
me
control
to?
of this.
Do you want me to walk over there? Where's the easement? There's no easement
You
here.
gotta talk to the
The
city
city
about
of
that.
Glendale doesn't care about easement.
Apparently not.
Well, that's the problem with that.
That's the problem with the city.
But you gotta have a sidewalk.
I think the
easement
only
area.
one who's the problem is
I'm
you.
not talking to you. I'm talking to him.
So if you get told to leave,
Are you
the
the
property-
sergeant, by the way?
No, he's not.
Okay, so then
Sir.
you're just a guy.
If you get told to leave, what do you want to do?
I want to have the right to remain on the easement.
You want to have the right, but you
Yeah.
may not have that right. So what are you gonna do?
How
then?
can
If
I
you get told that you do not have the right to be here because it's their private property and they tell you to leave, what are you gonna do?
This is not private property, man. You gotta have an easement.
What?
Easement area where you can rest
Where
your
does it
ass.
say that? Where does it say that?
Most in the 50 states, you need to have
No.
easement.
Where does it say that for California, for the city of Glendale? Where does it say you
Well,
have
let's
to
find
have-
out. Then you're the law enforcement.
You're the one that's telling me there has
Well,
to be an
but
easement.
you're the law enforcement.
You're
I'm
telling me there
not
has to be one.
enforcing
What
any
do you
law.
know that I don't?
I'm not enforcing any law.
But if you don't know that there has to be an
You
easement,
you
then
guys
how
are
do
the
you know?
ones that are supposed to know, not me.
But you're the one saying.
But this is easement. You gotta have easement for people
Why?
because it's a right everybody has.
Where?
In this area right here.
Where does it say that that has to be right?
Well, that's your
No,
you're the one
saying it, not me.
Well, you're
because
saying
what I
that.
know for California law is you're allowed to walk in the street as long as you don't provide a danger to the
Oh,
cars
so you
that
want
are
me to
around
walk
you.
on the street
It's
and
legal.
sit over there on the street?
As long as you don't do it,
Is that
to the cars around you. It's
is
legal.
that where you want me to go? And
As
sit
long as
over
you
there?
don't do it in a dangerous manner, you're more than allowed to do that.
Oh, and you're gonna
That's
be
the
okay
way the
with
law
that?
is. That's how the law is.
And I won't get ticketed if I sit on the middle of the street?
It's legal. If you sit in the street, you don't provide a danger to the cars around you, you're allowed to do that. You can walk in the street. That's how the law
You're
is. in
funny, guys.
California.
Well, what happens if I don't leave right now? What's gonna happen?
Well, if you don't leave the property right now, you could potentially be arrested for trespassing. That's up to the people that are in charge of the property.
I could potentially.
Yes, that's up to them. Can you wait over there, sir? I'm talking.
I'm gonna listen. It's about me.
All right, guys.
What's happening? We're leaving now?
I don't know. You can do whatever
Okay, okay.
But not going the American.
You got it. This is not the Americana. This is the sidewalk. You got it.
When everything settled, no laws were cited, no arrests were made, and no clear violation was ever identified. The situation simply faded out, leaving behind more questions than answers. What stood out wasn't criminal behavior, but confusion. Confusion over where public space ends, where private property begins, and who actually understands the rules. Encounters like this don't need force or escalation to become a problem. Uncertainty alone is enough to create tension, frustration, and unnecessary conflict where none needed to exist in the first place.
You can always tell When officers expect somebody to fold instantly, the tone, the attitude, the confidence, but sometimes they run into somebody who actually knows the law, and that's when the entire encounter starts falling apart. It started in broad daylight, quiet street, normal traffic, a man standing near a public area with a camera in his hand, not bothering anybody, not interfering, just filming. Simple, but apparently that was enough to trigger concern. A patrol unit pulls up, then another. 2 officers step out already looking suspicious before a single word gets exchanged. One of them walks straight up. "What are you doing?" "Recording." Short answer, calm voice, no attitude, but somehow that answer irritated them immediately. "You can't record here." The cameraman slowly lowers the camera slightly. "Yes, I can." That moment right there, everything changed, because the officers expected nervousness, not confidence. One officer points toward the building behind him. "We got calls about you." The man nods once. "Okay." No panic, no explaining himself, just calm acknowledgement. And honestly, that's what frustrated them the most, because once somebody stays calm, intimidation loses power fast. The officers try another angle. "You're making people uncomfortable." The guy looks around. People walking normally, cars driving normally, nobody paying attention, except police. That's not a crime, though. Boom, straight to the point. And suddenly the officers are struggling, because now they actually need legal justification, not feelings. One officer shifts immediately. "Let me see your ID." There it was, the fallback move. No crime, no problem. Demand identification and hope the person doesn't know any better. But this guy clearly did. "Am I being detained?" The officer pauses. Tiny hesitation. But enough to expose uncertainty. "You're being investigated." That's not what I asked. Now the officers are visibly irritated, because a cameraman is controlling the pace without ever raising his voice. "Am I detained or free to leave?" One officer finally snaps. "You're detained." "For what crime?" Silence. Longer this time, because there wasn't one. The officers glance at each other awkwardly before one finally says, "Suspicious activity." The cameraman almost smiles. Suspicion isn't a crime. And honestly, that sentence completely destroyed the stop, because he was right. The officers keep trying anyway. You could be casing the area. I could also be filming a YouTube video. You might commit a crime. I might go buy coffee after this too. That response nearly broke one of them. Now nearby people are slowing down watching everything unfold, and the officers can feel it. Authority always changes once witnesses show up. One cop starts getting defensive. "You're making this difficult." The cameraman shakes his head calmly. "No, I'm making you explain your authority." That line hit hard, because there's a huge difference. Most people comply before asking questions. This guy asked questions first, and the officers clearly weren't prepared for that. Backup arrives a few minutes later. Older officer, calmer energy, immediately different vibe. "What's going on?" The younger officers start talking over each other, trying to explain the situation. Refusing ID. Acting suspicious. Recording buildings. The older officer looks at the cameraman. "Are you on public property?" "Yes." "Okay." That one word changed everything. Instantly, because experienced officers usually recognize bad stops way faster. The cameraman calmly explains the situation. No exaggeration. No emotion. They demanded ID without articulable suspicion of a crime. The older officer exhales slowly, then turns toward the others. If it's on public property, he can record. Game over. Immediately, the younger officers go quiet fast, because once the supervisor says that, the illusion disappears. No more commands. No more threats. Just awkward silence. One officer mutters, "We were just checking." The cameraman nods calmly, "And I was just exercising rights." That silence afterward, heavy, because everybody standing there knew exactly what happened. This wasn't about crime. It was about discomfort. Officers saw somebody recording, felt uneasy, and tried turning that feeling into authority. But knowledge stopped it cold. Eventually, the supervisor gives a small nod. You're free to go. No ID, no citation, no arrest, just officers slowly walking back to their vehicles, looking way less confident than when they arrived. And honestly, that's the real lesson here. Not drama, not embarrassment, accountability. Because rights only matter when people actually exercise them. And knowledge changes everything. It changes fear. It changes posture. It changes outcomes. Because once authority realizes you actually understand the law, the intimidation stops working. Every single time.